Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stan Ponder. I'm going to be your guide through the EDU 520 Curriculum Analysis and Design course. Hopefully you're ready to go. We are going to be exploring a unit development plan using Understanding by Design. If you have no idea what that is at this point, that's perfectly alright. I promise you'll be good. If you have already used Understanding by Design before, great, you're going to do just fine as well, but you won't be bored. So that being said, let's kind of get started here. In this first video, what I just want to do is I just want to make sure that you are aware of one thing before we get into it, and that these are my opinions, my views. At many points they don't necessarily reflect Lindenwood's. I hope they would most of the time, but occasionally I've been known to kind of say a few things that are of my opinion that may not necessarily be those of everybody else. But I will promise you one thing, I will always be honest, so hopefully you will be as well. Alright, so that being said, what does this video explain? Well, we're going to talk about expectations first, not just my expectations for you, but also my expectations for me. I'm going to go hit some major points in the syllabus. It's 14 pages long. I was a student once as well, and I do not expect anybody to read 14 pages of material. A couple of rumors regarding online learning, and if this is indeed your first online class, and some of you may find that if you've taken other online classes, you may actually find one or both of those rumors to be true. Basic navigation within Blackboard. If you haven't used our learning management system before, I'm going to walk you through that very quickly. Even if you have used it before, I may have set mine up differently than others. And then finally the course structure, basically what the course will look like through Blackboard. So we're going to kind of hit all those, and we're going to start with the expectations. We're going to start with my expectations for me, because I think that's important for you to know how I hold myself accountable to make sure that you are also learning, rather than just going through the motions, which I've unfortunately seen many times in my career. First thing is, I'm not going to put any videos out there just for the sake of having videos. I think that sometimes we get a little too technology happy. I will try to make sure, I will do my best that everything is relevant and helpful and not a waste of your time. The second thing I'm going to do is also keep everything relevant. I am not going to go off into tangents or give you busy work or things like that I've all too often seen. Along that same structure line, you'll be happy to know that I do not require chapter reviews for the simple fact that you are now master's level students, and I don't feel that a chapter review is a good use of your time or mine. I would rather you apply that knowledge rather than just regurgitate it. There's more to come on that. I will provide constructive feedback. I think you will find that I would probably give more feedback than most. That is only because I put myself in your shoes. I understand what it's like, and I certainly welcome feedback given to me, both from colleagues as well as you at the end of this course. I want to stay involved. It's very easy to get distracted by real life, especially as the instructor, and say, oh, well, I just have to grade everything. Well, I don't plan on doing that. I plan on being involved in many aspects, not only with the feedback, but also with the discussion boards as well. I will break you one promise. I do read everything you write. Now, that's a double-edged sword. You'll be happy to hear that because you say, oh, great, I'm not going to be writing anything in vain. But that also means I'm going over everything with a fine-tooth comb, so be sure that you're putting your best work out there. Speaking of which, my expectations for you: do the work at your highest level. Notice that doesn't say do everything perfectly. There will be times when something may be a little vague or hard to understand, and that's all right. I encourage you to ask questions, which we'll talk about that as well, but I just expect you to do the work at your highest level. Please don't slop something together or copy it online. We're going to get more to that as well. I also expect you to read the text. My videos that I am going to produce for the course, which you will see as we go along, are not intended to replace the content. What they are designed to do is to kind of give you an overview of the content so that it helps you focus in on what areas you need to study rather than read the textbook cover to cover. What I would rather you do is listen to the video, pay attention, and say, okay, that part I'm already well aware of. Oh, this part, this I'm a little vague on. I need to read that section. To kind of help you, I will also Make sure that I include page references as I go through the material so you know exactly where to go and where to do your heavier reading and what areas that you're already familiar with and feel comfortable with. That being said, take nothing for granted. There will be several times throughout this course where you will feel uncomfortable because you will feel that either A, this goes against something you have learned in the past, or B, it goes against something you have seen or done yourself in the classroom. I will tell you that this course changed everything about the way I prepared lessons and content, not just for the college level, but for every level at which I've taught. Big important thing here, stay with us. An online course, you have to be very disciplined. As a student, I probably would not have taken a lot of online courses because I have a hard time sometimes keeping myself engaged and on task. If you have that problem, I would highly recommend that you consider dropping the course and taking a traditional course for this level, because this is a very intensive course, and you need to be able to have the discipline to stay on task and not fall behind. Honestly, falling behind in this course is very, very difficult to come back from, so please do not let it happen to yourself. If you know right offhand that you are going to be busy, or you are going to, you're somebody who does not stay on task usually, like I said, you may want to reconsider. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to work with you. Far from the truth. I'm looking out for your own best interest because I have seen it happen far too many times. So, make sure you stay with us. Make sure you also read the feedback. As I said, I give you a lot of constructive feedback, so make sure you read it. It will only benefit you and help guide you. And like I said, keep in mind it is constructive, so don't take it as a personal attack in any way. It is certainly not intended to be such. I find that whereas it is sometimes difficult to accept criticism, sometimes it makes for a much better product in the end. And make sure you ask questions. I thoroughly encourage you to ask questions. There will be a discussion board question format so that if you have a general question about the content or about the assignments or anything like that, post it in there because I will answer it. I'll be checking it, if not daily, definitely every other day. And that way your classmates can see the questions and the answers as well, because if you've thought of it, chances are they've probably thought of it too, so don't be embarrassed about posting a question. That said, if you do have something a little more personal that you have, for example, you've God forbid lost somebody in your family and you're kind of questioning on how you should proceed with the course, those kinds of things are not for the question format. Those you would email me. So just to kind of throw that out there, but definitely ask questions, and hopefully you'll take advantage of the discussion board. Also make it relevant. You only get out of this class what you put into this class, so please make sure that you do not, if you teach 5th grade, don't say, oh, I saw this really easy online social studies course for middle school. I'm going to use that for my unit. You're not really helping yourself. If you are not teaching currently at the time and you're job searching right now, the last thing you want to do is pick something that you just found online after a quick Google search. What you'll want to do is pick something that, for your unit, when it comes to that point, you want to pick something that you are interested in teaching, because not only will it be more fun for you, but it will give you something to really show off to a possible employer in the future. So definitely make it relevant. Okay, let's hit the syllabus. It is going to be attached to the email that I send you if you haven't noticed that already. I'm just going to hit the very high-level highlights and a few brief points from it. On the first page of the email, there's a lot of information there. You really don't need to read my biography, but it's part of the syllabus, and there's a lot of things on there that we're required to put in. On the first page, you'll see my email address, which I check multiple times every day. You'll see my phone number, but I would prefer that you email whenever possible, and then also the textbook for the class will also be on the first page. On pages 2 through 4, there's a 4-column massive table that goes on for 3 pages. If you really want to know about most step standards and you really want to know about student learning outcomes, by all means, feel free to peruse that 3-page table. However, the area that you really should focus in on are the folio tech possibilities with this course. It will give you some ideas on some documents that you might want to put to the side so that you can use them later for your folio tech. A couple of things on page 5 that you'll want to pay attention to is the absence policy, participation, and cheating policies. I don't claim attendance except for the first day. We'll get more into first day in just a minute. But last thing on their cheating policies, just don't. That's the easy way. I will tell you that, again, as master's level students, I know that you know what cheating is and cheating isn't, what plagiarism is and isn't. If you want to borrow things and make them your own from online, that's perfectly fine. I encourage you to do that. If you find something you say, ooh, with a few minor modifications, this will work really well with my unit, great, do it, but cite it. Tell me where you got it from. I will tell you that I do spend a lot of my time with your projects researching, making sure that they are original. That's part of my job requirement. I do not warn you or give you a little slap on the hand and a warning if you plagiarize at this level. I report you directly to the provost. So please, please do not allow that to happen. Make sure that you are citing whenever you borrow from somebody else. If you have any questions about that, please ask. I really don't like to do it, but unfortunately I have had to do it in the past. All right, so let's go on past that unpleasantness. Let's talk about pages 6 through 9. There's a brief description of all the different pieces of the course. I wouldn't waste too much time there, to be perfectly honest with you. If you just want a general idea of what you'll be doing, great. If you have specific questions, I really wouldn't worry about it then. There will be a lot more description, direction, and everything else when we get into those particular assignments on Blackboard. So just so you know. Now what everybody wants to know, pages 9, 10, and 11 is the course schedule, the week by week, so that you know what is going on, what's going to happen. All right, let's talk about a couple quick rumors with online education. Unfortunately, sometimes these rumors are true, otherwise they probably wouldn't exist. One is that online learning is easier than the regular environment. I will tell you that I have seen that this is true. I've also seen that it's a complete waste of time when it's true. I've seen discussion boards where it's an actual research answer, you know, like what was the answer to this question on page 212. One person posts the right answer and everybody just says, I agree. That's a waste of time. My goal is to have you busy, but to have you engaged in doing things that are useful to you. So, that being said, I don't think my course is easier than the regular environment. If you are very disciplined, you will find it to be rewarding. If you are very undisciplined and you can't stick to the course schedule, you'll find it much tougher. That being said, the other rumor that occurs with online learning is that it's full of busy work and it's harder than a regular classroom. I also find that to be false for the most part. One thing, the first part of that is why I find it to be false. I do not give busy work. Everything that I will assign to you has an intent and a purpose and has a reason for it being in the course. So, just like when I used to tell my 5th graders when I was teaching, if you ever want to know why we do something, just ask. For you, though, you'll probably figure it out pretty quickly. But the other part of it is it harder than a regular classroom? Well, that's hard to define. Like I said before, if you can stick to a course schedule, you probably will disagree with that. If you're much like me and a shiny object diverts your attention very quickly, then it might be a little bit more difficult for you to stay on task. So, that being said, those are rumors. I hope you will find this to be a very enjoyable, fun, as much as possible as a master's class can be, course where you walk out with something that you can implement right away, whether it's in your classroom that you have now or something that you can show off to a possible employer in a job interview. Alright, so that being said, the next thing we need to do is take a look at Blackboard. What does it look like and how do we use it? Again, if you have used Blackboard in the past, if you've had other online classes, you might want to pay attention for the first minute or two as you just kind of get a brief look at what it looks like in my course versus other courses. So, other than that, we're going to jump to Blackboard now. All right, before we jump into Blackboard, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things. First of all, you need to know how to use your line mail. If you don't know your line mail address, or you don't know how to get it forwarded to your regular mail address, all you need to do is go to the Lindenwood's website here, and you go to email, and whoops, at the very top there, you'll see student email, live mail. That is a clickable link. Go ahead and click on that, because over here to the right on the related links, if you don't know your username or your password or anything like that, you'll click on Find Your Username. It will ask you to enter your last name, date of birth, all that good stuff. If you already do know your Lion Mail username, but you want to forward it to a personal email account or even a work email account, all you've got to do is go to How to Forward Email there. It gives you step-by-step directions on exactly how to do that. So that being said, you do need to know your line mail or forward it somehow, because with Blackboard, I can only send 2 line mails. When I try to email a student, it will only allow line mail email addresses. So you need to make sure that you do check it regularly, or have it forwarded to an email address that you do check regularly. There are also several assignments throughout the course where you will be emailing a colleague, and I will get more into that as we go along. So that being said, please make sure that you take a good look at how to do that. So here we are in Lindenwood's main page, getting ready to go into Blackboard. To go into Blackboard, all you have to do is either click on Blackboard or click Access Blackboard. You'll come to the login page. I've already logged into Blackboard, so it skips that for me since I just logged into it. I wanted to bypass that. Now, under your courses, you'll see my course, and if you have any other online courses or any other courses that are using Blackboard as a tool for any reason. So click on the right course, and you'll automatically go into the announcements page. Again, those of you who have used Blackboard before, mine might look a little different. I've tried to keep it as simplistic as possible. You'll be brought into the announcements area. This changes every Sunday throughout the course, so please make sure you read it carefully, because it gives very important information. I'm really trying to limit the amount of text I use in the course, so please make sure you do read what is there. Now, at any point, if you navigate elsewhere throughout Blackboard and you want to come back to the announcements to read them again, all you've got to do is click on the Announcements tab. Your assignments and files, this lists everything by every week in the course. So what you'll need to do is you'll read week by week what's in there. Now again, the announcements will kind of give you more detail than this. This just tells the files and assignments that are located during each week. But it gives you a snapshot of everything that's in there, along with everything that you need to know for your week's worth of work, okay? So, all assignments, files are there. Discussion board. Discussion board, I don't know if you will see the discussions that are not available yet. I see them all as the instructor. I talked earlier about the question forum where we post questions and things like that. So we'll use this one as an example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto the question forum after I read the brief description. Because once you get here, you'll see nothing's there. So please make sure that you actually read the information first. Okay, make sure that you have your answer formed and you know exactly what you're going to say or do. So when you click on it, if you're the first person, you're going to see no items found there. What you want to do is create a thread. So the first thing you want to do is you'll want to create a subject for it. And I'm going to call the subject... And then you'll type in your actual response here. And all you need to do then, if you want to attach a file, you're welcome to attach files. I don't see any reason that you would need to do that, but you can. And then you're going to hit submit. And once you hit submit, you're going to see that now you have a thread. Now, let's go back and say that you are now the second person and you're going to respond to that person. So you read the question for them. Oh, okay, you get your general idea there. Click on it. And you see, oh, somebody's already posted. So what I'm going to do is I want to read what they had to say. Maybe I'll agree with them or want to talk with them about that. I'll have some sort of response to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. And you're going to see, if I scroll down a little bit, here is what they typed. This is their original post. And so now what I'm going to do is I may want to reply to them. I might want to say something to them, not necessarily to the original prompt. So what I'm going to do is I can hit reply and it will just give me a blank area, or I can hit quote and it will actually quote them. I'm just going to hit reply. I'm going to hit submit. And now you're going to see I have a little bit of a hierarchy going here. I have the original post, and then indented a little bit, I have the other post. Now here's one thing I want to point out very quickly for those of you new to discussion boards. If I go into the discussion board to check my post that I just made, and I click on the question form, you're only going to see the original post here. You're not going to see any replies to this post. So don't think that your reply is gone and it's vanished and it's lost and you're really freaking out now. All you've got to do is click on it, remember who you replied to, and you can see there's your post again. Now, if I create a new thread, you'll see it kind of lined up here. If I am going to reply to this original post, it will be lined up with this. If I reply to this person, so now you have the post number 1, post number 2 is a reply to number 1, and post number 3 is a reply to number 2, then it will be indented even further. So all you've got to do is look for the hierarchy to figure out who is posting to whom and who is talking to whom within that. Okay, so that's a little bit about discussion boards. If that's confusing at all, please let me know. Now check your grade is your grade book. It's just you. You can only see you. In fact, when I click on it, I get nothing. Because I'm an instructor, I don't get grades, so I see nothing there. So I can't really show you yours. But basically, not only will you see your grade for each assignment, you will also see the feedback that I give you on that assignment. So please make sure that you pay attention to that. I encourage you to check it often. I usually try to grade everything after the deadline, so since things are due late Saturday night, usually Sundays are the day I do the bulk of my grading. I try to get to stuff a little bit early, but if you turn in something late, you're going to have to wait a few days for me to get to it. Don't expect an immediate graded response if you turn it in on a Monday or a Tuesday or things like that. It will take me a little bit to get to it. Alright, so that's a little bit about that. If you want to send an email, you have lots of choices when you send an email. I will say, choose carefully, okay? If you want to send it to everybody, including me, then you'll click all users. If you want to just click or just send something to your colleagues, you don't want me to see it for any reason, you'll click all student users. You could do all instructor users to send it to me, but really the easiest way to do it is just to click on select users. You can individually select who you want to send it to. So, for example, at one point you're going to send an email to a colleague I pair you up with and me, so that what you'll do then is you'll click select users and you can just select your partner's name and my name. One quick little thing about sending emails through Blackboard. You always get a copy sent to your inbox, okay? So, when you get that copy, don't think, uh-oh, it must not have gone through because I've got it sitting here in my inbox. That actually is the default. You will automatically get a copy of that email too. So don't think it didn't go through. It did. All right? Instructor information is the other tab there. Just basically what's the same as on the syllabus, just gives my name and information there. So those are the main tabs that you will need throughout the course. You probably won't need any others, but if you do, feel free to ask for help on those. Hopefully that was a little bit more about this. Now, the last thing we want to talk about is the course, the way that the course is formatted and the way the course is structured. So basically there are two different pieces to this course. There's the UBD knowledge gaining portion, and then there's your curriculum unit that you're going to be building. So what we kind of do is week by week, what we do is we do week 1, we're kind of going to learn about understanding by design. Week 2, we're going to start doing parts of our curriculum unit. And then we're going to go into the next part of understanding by design, and then we'll apply that piece to our curriculum unit. So what you're going to see as you go through week by week, you're going to see that we're not going to do all the knowledge gaining and then put it to use. We're going to learn something, apply it, learn something, apply it. So that's kind of the way that the course will work. So if you have any questions about structure as we go along, please feel free to ask. I do want to point out that we do have 9 discussions throughout the course. There are only 15 weeks, which means we're not going to have one every single week. But what you'll notice is any week that we don't have a discussion, I do put on the folder that week just so you don't get confused that there is not a discussion that week. So please make sure that you're keeping track of what week it is, where we're at, what you should be doing. So that's a little bit about getting started. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to, before we get into the first part of the week, I'm going to have one additional video for those who are not as familiar with Blackboard. I'm going to have a kind of Blackboard supplement video as well, and that one is going to just kind of lay out, you know, how to turn in an assignment and things like that. So that's not going to be in this video. I feel like I've reached my limit with this one. So if you are very comfortable with Blackboard and you've gone through several classes at Lindenwood with Blackboard, you may not need it. If you have not, I highly recommend you watch that video as well. So then we'll get started soon. Hope this has been helpful to you. Hopefully you feel like you know me a little bit better. If you have any questions, send me an email or drop it into the question forum. Other than that, have a great day. We'll see you soon.